guys, Dan Book Nook Noggin, and I want to talk about Jennifer Bernardini's Mirror in the Attic. First off, I want to say I really underestimated this book. I'll admit that sometimes with debut novels, I go in with really low expectations, and you know what? Jen Bernardini proved me wrong with this book. Of course, you know, we got the main character, Abby. She's like this girl, you know, she's got a shitty home life. She's just struggling to get by, and just due to circumstances like out of her control, her car breaks down. This lady stops to help her, and little does she know what just kind of, you know, what's bound to happen, and she's just kind of steamrolled with all this stuff going on, and it's like, cause like, you know, you know, we're introduced to the character, and in the background there's these, you know, she's hearing on the news that these girls are disappearing and they're finding body parts and all of that, but she's not really listening to it, but it's kind of there in the background, so it kind of makes you wonder how much the main character of Abby is aware of, you know, what she's found herself in, I guess you could say. Clocking in at a little over 350 some odd pages. This really was a hell of a book. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, I did not expect the journey that I got out of this book. I love the fact that Jen is kind of vague about the placing of this story. It could take place in anywhere, any town, America. The only thing we're given is we know that it is a rural setting by, you know, some of the scenes take place out in the country, you know, isolated kind of areas where there's not a lot of neighbors. So, like, that really helped add to the intensity and the urgency of things at times. I feel like the character development was really well done. Although at first, when it was first kind of introduced, you know, the main detective character of Davis is one of those kind of detectives you can see he really does care about people and he cares about getting his job done. But, you know, like I said, this threw me through a loop because I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. I'll admit that I kind of started reading this very slowly. I kind of read a few pages at a time because, like I said, I wasn't expecting much from it being a debut. You know, it chugs along and it gives you a little bit here and there. I like how, like, you know, the unexpected things with... I mean, I will say this. I do consume a lot of true crime media and podcasts and stuff, and so this, you know, I've never heard of an MO that could fit this narrative. Like, I do not know of one that kind of fits this story, but I'm not gonna write it off and say that could not ever happen because I've never heard of a true crime case like that. But I feel like it is possible, and I feel like, you know, Jen did a pretty good job of making a character like that. It felt believable to me enough that, you know, I was entertained by this. I really got something out of this. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. Like I said, the vagueness of where it takes place really helps. So you could be like in the South or in the New England or, you know, the Mid-Atlantic region, or maybe you're in the Midwest, and I think you could imagine this taking place in your neck of the woods. So that part, I feel like, was really well done. Now, I'm going to admit, I just don't get why it was called The Mirror in the Attic. Even after having finished this, I kind of feel like I missed out on something. Maybe I kind of have a vague idea why it's called The Mirror in the Attic by the way it ended. But I'm still not 100% sure. Not a big fan of this cover. I feel like this book needs a revamp. It needs a cover revamp. The muted colors It needs some kind of different cover to really make this pop and stand out, but it was a good read. Definitely go check it out. I went and added a bunch more of her books because once I was almost finished with this, I was like, you know what, she's a pretty damn good writer. So I decided to add at least 2 or 3 more of her books, and she's produced quite a few books in the last few years. I was surprised to see that because I hadn't really been keeping track or keeping up with what she's been doing lately. So that was nice to see, and I was really surprised by that as well. It's an interesting story. Like I said, I could find this believable. It was that interesting. It's being marketed as a psychological horror. I'm going to say, in my opinion, this did not really feel like a horror read to me. It feels more like a crime thriller. But there were some horrific elements, I guess you could say. Like, there were certain things that were just like, you're like, oh my god, not that. And there were some descriptions that were kind of like in that realm of horror. But I feel like this is mainly a crime thriller story. That's the vibes it gave me. Was a very strong with the detective and, you know, the events. And it was like a procedural kind of thing because you're like seeing as a side story these detectives working to solve the case. And so yeah, if that sounds like something up your alley, then this is where it's at. You definitely need to check this out. I'm not sure if she like writes anything else that would be considered crime thriller. Like, this is the first and only thing I've read by her so far. Like I just said, I added a couple more of her books to my TBR because I was really impressed with this. Like I said, I gave this a 4 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. And of course, as always, if you want to check this out for yourself, I will have a link to Amazon down below. And if you wouldn't mind donating to my coffee, help support my channel. I'm not receiving AdSense from Google. Every little bit helps out. If you came here, this is the first time you've ever seen my videos. Maybe you're a returning visitor. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Stick around. I'm going to have a lot more reviews. I mean, yes, I'm not uploading as frequently as I used to, but we're doing it. We're just chugging along. Like I said, guys, 4 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. Go check it out. Buy the book through my link down below. I get a small percentage of every book or anything really that's purchased through that link. Till next time, guys. Later.